Okay, so about migration, something that frequently came upon us when we talk to clients and when we deliver themes to our clients, and mostly when we talk to clients about architecture. I'm going to talk here to you about three main scenarios. All right. The first one is when the client has some kind of an application in the traditional OutSystems, and he wants to transform that traditional application into a reactive one. Okay. The second scenario is when the client wants to apply a new design to an already existing application. All right, regarding changing some UI, making some UI improvements, creating one or two new components. All right, and the third migration scenario that I want to briefly talk to you is to create a new application, in this case in reactive. Okay, so usually what we talk with our clients regarding the problem they have when they need to transform a traditional application into a reactive one. The first option that we can discuss is simply clone uh, clone the application and start developing in the new application exclusively. Okay, and then when the application is ready, they simply start using it. Okay, send it to production and use this new application. The second thing that they can do is to basically uh, change the application modules one by one at a time, and what they will end up is having an application with pages made in reactive and pages made in traditional. Okay, this could be a problem if at the same time that the client is changing from traditional to reactive, if they are also start using a new theme. Okay, because they will have parts of the application with a new design and parts of the application with an old design. Okay, the problem is usually here. All right, when they have a new theme, and this mix will end up with like a Frankenstein application. Okay, something new and something old. The third option that we advise is, again, change the module one at a time. But the difference here is, instead of creating pages, new pages based new pages on reactive, and use the page, simply use the blocks. Okay, and use the blocks inside iframes, and those iframes are in traditional. Okay, so you can do this. You can do this. It will depend on the needs that you have, but this is an option when we are transforming an application in traditional for reactive, and then later on we can create our pages. When everything is evolved, we can create the pages and then use those blocks that are already in reactive. We can use them inside our reactive pages. Okay. Next, usually what happens here is the client um, wants to apply a new UI design to the applications, and the two scenarios here, the two options here are, or they end up applying directly the new theme to the application. Okay, or they end up cloning the application, simply cloning the application, and then apply the new theme and perform some tests, and then start using that new application. Okay, or after they test this new application, they perform the same changes to the previous one. Okay, again, this will depend of what type of UI changes are needed. Okay, the last scenario is when it's basically the simple one, and that is when we want to create a new reactive application. Okay, so basically what we say is, okay, you start developing, we help you with the architecture, the architecture, and you start developing your new applications based on the theme that we are delivering to you. Okay, and following these best practices, and following this architecture. So again, I'm calling David here. Ground control to Major Tom. Anybody here? I want to talk to David again. Okay. Hello, David.
Hello again.
Welcome back.
I can today.
All right. So about migration, David. What can we say about migration?
Okay, this is a good example. Probably the painful today is tradition for reactive.
Yeah.
Not thinking about the reacting limitations that you have today, like CEO or sensitive URL, something like that. But about if you want to, probably it's I think apply new UI theme, it's easily, and the new recaption application is easily. Traditional for reactive. For me, it's two ways. Well, one, the easy way, an iframe, but I don't suggest that. But we already applied the best way in some clients, like traditional. Okay, you have tradition, create a new team like the old team in reactive. So in terms of the UI, try to be the same on tradition on the reactive and create new screens for reactive long term, and try to make the experience between the apps. I think today probably we'll live with that in the next years. OutSystems already promotes leave the traditional. If you look on today on the Service Studio, you don't found the easy way a traditional application, so you only found the reactive. So I hope everyone moved to reactive, because it's the faster way and the modern way to implement new applications. We are waiting that's more than 6 years. So finally comes. Yeah, and that's it. So traditional for reactive, it's not possible, like OutSystems say, okay, it's not possible, move traditional for reactive, but we have some...
It has some costs, yeah.
Yes, some features, some tips to move that. Create the application, create the same team on reactive, like the old traditional team, and the developers probably can create the screens, similar screens, and move the application a long term, not only in one shot. A long term. If you don't need move the traditional screen for reactive, still using the traditional. So we can manage the same application with two applications, reactive and traditional, and have part of the application on traditional and part of the application on reactive, and move that to for the new reactive, because it's hard for IT have specific budget to migration, so they can use the development budget a long term to make the changes for reactive. So if you need to change something on screen, create the screen on reactive with the same visual theme, and appoint the link for the new screen, and you can manage that on long term. Yeah, it's the best way in our opinion.
Okay. Thank you to hear that from you.
Thank you. Thank you very well.
All right. See you. Bye bye.